This country?
Mexico.
Mexico, right. So my state, Texas, is on the border of the United States and Mexico. So we have a long border with Mexico. Actually, in the past, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, this was all part of Mexico in the past. So we have a lot of influence. We have a lot of people who speak Spanish. We have Mexican food, Mexican drinks, tequila. We have a lot of influence from Mexico. As you can see, Texas is a very big state, very big. In fact, if you can put 3 Texases in Colombia, the size of Colombia. So my state is 1/3 the size of your whole country of Colombia. So it's a big state. And San Antonio is my city. So like Manizales, Caldas, right? San Antonio, Texas. So San Antonio is like right here. If I was driving, it would take about 5 hours to get to Mexico. So pretty close, pretty close. The state? Alaska, very good. Alaska is way up there, super cold, right? I have never been to Alaska. This right here, San Andres. Our San Andres. Not Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a territory. It's not a state. Hawaii. Hawaii. So right here in the Pacific Ocean, this is our tropical paradise. So it's a very big city. Has anyone visited the United States? No? Does anyone have family who live in the United States? No? Yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Where? Let me guess. New Jersey.
No, I don't.
You don't.
Where?
New Jersey? Texas? Texas. Houston? Do they live in Houston? They probably live in Houston. Houston is like right here. It's a big city, and a lot of people either live in Miami, New Jersey, Houston, popular cities for Colombians.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm from, San Antonio, Texas, and I'm sorry that this line isn't working. It's kind of hard to see. But there are some pictures of my city in San Antonio. So we have the River Walk. I have a big river in the middle of my town. It's about 15 kilometers. It's very long. And this is the part of the river that's through our downtown. Like El Centro, call it downtown. And there's restaurants and bars and hotels and music venues. A lot of events happen at this part of the river walk, and you can take boats and look at the different sites. At Christmas, it's beautiful. There's so many Christmas lights and all the trees. It's really beautiful. This is a symbol of my city. It's the Alamo, and it's a famous Spanish mission. So when the Spaniards occupied Texas, they were trying to convert the indigenous people into Catholicism. Very friendly ways, I'm sure. And they used one of these churches to do that, missions. We have about 5 missions in San Antonio. And this was a site of an important battle. And so many people died, and between the Texan army and the Mexican army, there was a battle. So everyone goes there and takes a picture in front of the Alamo, a selfie, right? These are our San Antonio Spurs. This is our professional basketball team. NBA, that's right, National Basketball Association. Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, who's the other guy? Tim Duncan?
Duncan.
Yes, he retired.
And the goal is Greg Popovich.
Yes, Greg Popovich. He's a great coach. He's very nice. And so this is like our Once Caldas, right? We go to watch the San Antonio Spurs. Do you know what this is? A spur? What's a spur? What does this look like? If we're cowboys on a horse, we've got a little thing on our boot. Spur in English. So we're the San Antonio Spurs. Because everyone in Texas are cowboys, right? Cowboy? No. It's the stereotype, the idea of Texas, right? We have a lot of cowboys. And then this, you really can see, this is my lovely Mexican food that I miss. You have Don Ramon here. I like, if you've never been to La Condesa, have you been to La Condesa in Milan? They have good tacos and nachos, real nachos.
Where? I'm sorry.
La Condesa in Milan. If you're going into Milan, it's right at the beginning on the left. You never been?
Condesa, La
La
Condesa.
Condesa, I think that's what it's called. La Condesa, it's really good. Their nachos, so good. You should definitely go. It's a, yes, it's Mexican restaurant. It's good. Here in Milan, it's good. I recommend it. I like it better than Don Ramon. So these are just some images of my city in San Antonio. So I'm here in Manizales with my family. I have 2 children. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm giving you a quiz at the end, a test about me, so you'll write down information about me. 2 children. I have a baby, you can't really see it. 2 years old, Felix, he likes Snapchat. I'm taking my phone, saying Snapchat. And then this is my 6-year-old, his name is Diego. 2 children. I have a husband, he has a very American name, Scott. Not Escott. Scott, right? And these are some pictures of what we like to do in our free time, our hobbies. We like to be outside. So it's a picture of us camping with our fire, our roasted marshmallows, and riding our bikes. But San Antonio is flat. If I tried to do this bike in Manizales, I would have a heart attack. I can barely walk up the hills rather than try to ride a bike. I don't know how people ride bikes up the mountain. Incredible. So that is my family. So my 2 kids are here in school. They arrived in Colombia without speaking any Spanish. Just say hola, and that's it. Right? Colors, they knew uno, dos, tres. Very, very little Spanish. So do you think in 9 months have my children learned Spanish? Yes. How have they learned Spanish? Listening, playing with friends. Have they sat in a class taking notes about Spanish? No. No formal classes in Spanish. All about immersion, right? Being in an environment where you're hearing the language all the time, right? Listening to their teachers, playing with their friends. So they have learned a lot of Spanish. In fact, I want to show you a video of one of my sons. This is the older son, this is Diego, and I want to know what you think.
Vamos a la playa, apúrate el arma, cierra la pantalla, abre la medalla, me gusta lento y contento, cara al viento.
Muy bien. Now let's see if you can sing with this one. With his friends, I guess, at school, listening on the street. So what do you think of his pronunciation, his accent?
Very good.
Very, very good. Very good in 9 months. Do you think some of the words in the song are difficult to pronounce for someone who doesn't know Spanish? Yeah, you think so? What do you think of his accent? Su acento. Does he sound like an American from the United States, or does he sound like a Colombian boy?
It's like American, but
Sounds very Colombian.
mix.
A mix. Very Colombian.
Yeah.
Puro paisa, no? He has a very paisa accent, right? So it's amazing what just being exposed to another language can do. And I admit that for younger children, it is easier for them to learn a second language. They do it more naturally. Their brain is more flexible. It's true, there's science that says that. Kind of at age 10 is when it becomes more difficult. But under age 10, the brain is able to hear sounds and learn and have the accent. The accent is very difficult. Like, you are fluent in English, but you don't have a native accent. And if you learn after 10, you really can never master the native accent. But I think he sounds pretty Colombian. Pretty Colombian. So maybe he'll go back and always, when he speaks Spanish, he's gonna sound like a Colombian. And all the Mexicans are gonna be like, where are you from? When he speaks Spanish to his friends from Mexico, right? So what I want to emphasize, though, is that they say, research says that when you want to learn a second language, you need to have your environment at 30% of that language that you're trying to learn. So if you're trying to learn French, you need to have 30% of your day in French. If you're trying to learn English, 30%. So what does that mean? How can you increase your English in your life?
Seeing pictures, listening
Movies,
music.
listen to music, watching your Game of Thrones, your GOT in English, reading books in English, talking to native speakers in English, changing your cell phone to English. How many times do you look at your cell phone? 200 times a day. Put it in English, the settings in English. Listen to the news in English. So 30% when you're in a country that's not an English-speaking country is difficult. So if you have an opportunity to travel or study abroad, that's really the key, immersion. But if you can't do that, just try to find little ways to increase the percentage of your day. Because if you only English is this class 2 times a week for 2 hours, and you go outside, Spanish, 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 it's going to be difficult to improve your English. So try to find ways to increase that. So, my professional background, so it's hard to see, but in the 9 months that we have been in Colombia, we've had lots of different adventures and got an opportunity to meet wonderful people, make new friends, and visit places in Colombia. So can you see anything here that you recognize in Colombia? You see this? Yeah. Coatepec. Right. What do you think this is? This is a starfish. Playa del Mar. San Andres. This is, you can't really see, this is Valle de Cocora. This is Salento. This is Santa Marta. Right. And this is a river near Pareda, Rio Otun. Does anyone know Rio Otun? It's a beautiful river. We visited that with some friends, and we've been to Medellin, and someone was from Quindío. Quindío? No one in this class? Maybe it was the other class. We just went to Panaca this weekend for Semana Santa. Where else have we been? We've been to Palomino. Do you know where Palomino is? The beginning of La Guajira. No? You should definitely go. That is my favorite place in Colombia. I was there on Christmas Day, and the stars were incredible. I saw the Milky Way, La Via Láctea. It was like Via Láctea was like super bright. I'd never seen stars like that before. So there are many parts of Colombia that we have been able to visit. and be able to share it with our friends when we go back. So, my professional background, I have a bachelor's degree, so it's like an undergraduate degree in radio, television, and film. So I studied media, representations of gender, sexuality in movies. So who has like industrial engineering? Definitely not industrial engineering. Electronic engineering? Mm-mm. Electrical engineering? Nobody. Business administration? Yes. Mm-mm. No. Math? Definitely no. It's like the opposite of all these degrees is what I studied. Maybe cultural and communicative management. Maybe a little close. And then my master's degree, my postgraduate degree, is in women's studies. Again, super far from math, science. So this is like a social work, feminist studies, humanities, these kinds of issues. So one important thing, and I know this is a common mistake, so you say like what you're studying is your like career. It's not, this is your degree. Your degree is in math. Your career is your job. My degree is this. My career, I am a teacher. Okay, I'm an architect. I am a business owner. That is my career. But my degree is business administration. My degree is math. I also have a graduate certificate in teaching English as a second language in the United States. There are many English learners from many countries. Guatemala, Honduras, India, we have Pakistan. I have many students from many countries who are learning English, so not just Spanish. I can't use my Spanish in my class because there are people from all different countries. And then also my hobby, what I do in my free time, is I am a volunteer in breastfeeding education. So breastfeeding is lactancia materna. So I teach moms and babies. I help moms and babies breastfeed. That is an interest of mine. So, a little bit about the university system in the United States. So, we have private and public universities, just like here. Typically, private universities are going to be small, like 1,000 students or 10,000 students. 10,000 is small. Public universities are going to be very big, normally. So I went to the University of Texas, and I had 50,000 students at my university site in Austin. Okay, so Manizales, Nacional at Manizales has about 5,000? 6,000, I'll give you 6. I'll give you 5 to 6,000, right? So much bigger. I think in all the Nacionals in Colombia, Palmira, Bogota, Medellin, in total, maybe 50,000 in all the whole country, right? My one site, like my sede, had 50,000 students. Many buildings. I had class over here, it'd take me 20 minutes, walking in the Texas sun, awful. So some of my classes were in an auditorium with the teacher here, and all the students here. We had about maybe 300 students in one class. So many students in one class. Some of my classes were like this, like 25. When you get to, 4th semester, 5th semester, but my first semester, many of my classes were like that. I'm like, oh my God, I love it, people. So I'm used to very big universities. Is that my phone? Sorry. Is it your ding? Sorry.
No worries.
And then this picture is the picture of my where I got my master's degree at Ohio State University, another huge university. And this is the American football stadium. Very popular sport in the United States. So this is our stadium. it holds about 150,000 fans. Okay. Once Caldas? How many? Maybe 30,000. Okay, much bigger. And this is for my school, my university, not for my city. This is for my university. This is for Manizales, right? So it's a very popular sport, and we have lots of big things in the United States. Okay. So I am also a second language learner. I learned Spanish in Guatemala about 10 years ago. I really wanted to learn Spanish. I was a social worker. I had many clients who were speaking Spanish and I couldn't communicate with them. So I decided to leave my job, go to Guatemala for 3 months. I said I have to learn Spanish in 3 months. So I lived with a family, a Guatemalan family. I went to school, Spanish school, for 5 hours each day. Okay, so I focused, and I got pretty good at Spanish. And then I was able to return to the United States and work with my clients in Spanish. Although Guatemalan Spanish and Mexican Spanish is a little different. So I know that it's challenging to learn a second language, but there are so many benefits, rewards to learning English. So I want to hear from you 5 rewards or 5 benefits, positive reasons why English can help you, how English can help.
For getting a job.
Getting a job, many more job opportunities. If you speak English, you don't have to look just in Colombia or just in South America. You can look at Canada or even Germany where they speak English, or France or India. Job opportunities, more jobs. Travel. Right. If you're in Japan and you don't know Japanese, but you can say, I'm lost in English. Estoy perdida in English. They'll probably know. They can probably help you. Or I'm hungry. Right? Or I need to sleep. Travel. Job. Travel. Study. How many of you have to read academic articles in English? Everyone? Everyone has to read academic articles in your subject, in your field. Academic English is like conversational English, formal English. Academic English is difficult, right? So being able to read, research, advance your knowledge in your subject, definitely. 2 more.
Information. Getting information.
Right, you can understand things in your academic field, but also you can watch movies in English easier. You can enjoy music in English. Cultural and informational subjects you can understand. Last one. Friends. You can make more friends, more relationships with people if you know English. You can communicate and build relationships when you speak English, right? So that's just 5. I know there's many, many more, right? So I think it's a benefit to you to try to, I know this is level 4, but you can continue on after level 4, right? So my expectations of you as students in our time together, I have 4 main expectations. 1 is to have a positive attitude, right? It's 10 a.m., it's not super early, it's not super late, you should be well rested, had a good breakfast, like I'm ready for English class, right? Yeah, not like, oh, I have to go level 4, I'm so glad it's my last one. No, full participation. When Martha and I ask questions, we don't want to see like 40 eyeballs just looking at us. No, I want to see you try. Are you going to make a mistake in this class? Yes. That is part of learning a language. You will, 100%. Each one of you will make a mistake. That's okay. That's how we learn. You have to try. What's the worst thing that will happen if you make a mistake? The worst. ha 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 ha. Done. Someone laughs and it's over. What's the worst thing that can happen if you don't even try? Level stays the same. Level stays the same, goes down, right? So I want you to try here. Speak English, obviously. We want to hear your voice. You have the benefit of a native speaker for 5 weeks. Let's practice pronunciation. It's a word that's troubling you. You don't know how to pronounce it. Come ask me and we'll practice. Okay, you have to. You can write all you want. You can listen to your English music. For comprehension, you can read, but if you don't speak, you're going to be traveling and you're like, how to say this? So let's practice, right? Practice speaking English and to have fun. I know sometimes this is a class where you have to come to English, but I want you to see this as an opportunity to have fun. We're going to have games, activities, different things to get you motivated and talking and laughing. So those are the 4. If you have those, if you do these 4 things, come to class, do your work, I think you're going to see your English improve. Okay? So, what state in the United States am I from? Texas is the state. San Antonio is the city. San Antonio, Texas. Okay? How many children do I have? 2. What are their names? Felix and Diego. How old is Felix? 2 years old. How old is Diego? 6 years old. What is one expectation I have for you as a student? Have fun. Show participation. Speak English.
Positive.
Attitude. Very good. Very good. Now I want to hear some questions from you. What else do you want to know about me? I have some candy. Ask me some questions. Practice your English voice.
What means figure out?
What does figure out mean? The phrase? Figure out. Figure out. Figure out means to find the answer, find the solution, solve a problem. That's what the phrase figure out means. Very good. 4 more. I heard something over here. Level 4, guys. What else do you want to know?
What is your favorite music?
What is my favorite music? Honestly, I really don't follow music a lot, but I guess the music I listen to most would be like Spanish pop music, because when I was in Guatemala, I started to listen only to music in Spanish, so that I just hear the words and the pronunciation. So I guess like Mana or Jesse Joy, Spanish pop music. But there's so much music, it's hard to keep up with new songs. Despacito. Still, 2 years later.
What is your favorite Colombian food?
My favorite Colombian food, I like the frijoles here. I like them better than Mexican frijoles. So I love beans. I need to learn how to cook. I don't know how to cook. Need your grandmother's help. You can teach me? Sure. Also, I discovered that pastel de papa. It's delicious. It's like fried mashed potatoes. It's so good. There you go. I'm not a huge fan of bandeja paisa. I don't like it. It's too much. It's so much food. It's like there's like underneath you eat, and then there's like another layer of food. It's like, when does this end? Too much meat. Yes.
If an American friend questions you about Colombia, what do you say?
That's a great question. I would say that Colombia is a country that has many diverse places, mountains, oceans, desert, very diverse. I would say that people are very friendly here, helpful. Sometimes Colombians don't really think of like other people, like there's no lines in Colombia. Like when I go to pick up my children, there's like 40 parents all at the same door, and I'm like, can you just like can you make a line? Can we make a line? It'd be a lot easier. But then everyone's like, that's interesting. There's a lot of food, delicious food here. I think it's a country that is evolving and changing, trying to change its image of being an unsafe place or a place where you don't want to travel to. I think there are many people here that are interested or concerned about the crisis in neighboring Venezuela and trying to help that situation. We also are on the border of Mexico, so Texas and Mexico are always, I think we should be helping Mexico and helping people who come to the United States rather than build a wall. In my personal opinion, not the opinion of Fulbright Association. So that's what I would say. I would tell the friends and the families that I've met here, my students, very positive things about Colombia. Two more, yes.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie, Office Space. Have you seen Office Space? No? It's a funny movie. It's like, I think it's like 20 years old. I think it came out in 1999. Office Space. It's a comedy. I've seen it many, many times. Yes.
Thanks. Why did you choose Manizales for Olympics?
Why did I choose Manizales? Well, actually, Fulbright, you get to pick the country. So Fulbright has English assistants like me in about 80 countries in the world. Russia, Germany, Japan, Brazil, everywhere. So I get to pick the country, but I cannot pick the location, the city. So this year there are 90 English assistants like myself in Colombia. In Bogota, in Medellin, in Pereira, Leticia, Monteria, Barranquilla, many places in Colombia. So I'm so lucky that I got to be in Manizales because I think it's the best city of that list, especially. The majority of us, about 40 or 50, are in Bogota. So there are 4 in Manizales. I am one of 4. So I think it's a perfect place for a family. It's calm, it's quiet, it's affordable. I think the weather is beautiful. So I think I was very lucky, but I did not get to pick. I just say I'm gonna go to Colombia and tell me where I'm gonna go. So I'm lucky. 3 more.
What do you like about Colombia?
What do I not like? What do I not like? You didn't want it. Are you sure? What do I not like about Colombia? I think whenever you live in a country that's different than your own, there are little challenges, cultural challenges, right? Honestly, in Colombia, there are not huge challenges, but I think the biggest thing, just the personal space. For example, when I'm walking on the sidewalk, the sidewalk, there's like the street with the cars, and then the sidewalk. How do you say sidewalk in Spanish? Andén. For example, Danielle, we're Colombians, right? We're gonna walk like this in the middle of the sidewalk, and then I'm like, excuse me. So Colombians walk 3 in a row, 3, 4. America, this way, and then over here, this way. So, just little cultural things where Colombians don't necessarily look at other people or think about it. The lines, the lines. Those are just little things that are different about the United States and Colombia. Different rules, cultural rules that we have. But I think that's a benefit of living somewhere, is that you realize that the whole world is not like the country that you're from. There are other ways of doing things, and you adapt. You learn. I have much more patience now. Or, things can seem a little disorganized here. Like yesterday, we don't know where the classroom is. I don't know my schedule. And if it happened in the United States, I'd be like panicking. I'd be like, oh my gosh, where am I supposed to be? I don't have like everything organized. Here, it's like, it'll be okay, it'll work out. And the majority of the time it does. So I've learned to be calm and patient, and everything's not a big deal. So there are annoyances, but also benefits of those things as well. Good questions, guys. Over here is silent. I want to hear two questions over here. Level 4, you have to speak.
Well, do you travel to the Guajira?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the Guajiros?
I did not. I only stopped in Palomino, so it's like at the beginning. It's like before Rirabacha and stuff like that. So I did not get to visit any of the communities there. Of course, in Santa Marta they have all the beautiful mochilas, and there are some Wayu that are in Santa Marta, but I did not travel like with Gallina or something like that. I didn't go up to the north. But it's interesting to learn about the indigenous communities in Colombia. We have indigenous Native Americans in the United States also that have similar challenges as the indigenous people in Colombia. So it's interesting to see the similarities and the differences between us. But unfortunately, I did not get to meet or interact with that community as much as I would like. Okay. One of these 6 is going to talk. I have a lot of patience. I can just stand here until someone talks. What about my family? Where else have I traveled? Same questions. Where do I live in Manizales? Examples of questions you can ask. You're thinking, I can tell. You haven't written down from your interviews with your friend, with your coworkers or your classmates. It's gonna be a long semester if y'all don't talk. I'm telling you. Yes.
How are you going to test us?
How am I going to
Testing us.
test you? You don't know.
Assess you,
Assess?
evaluate you.
Like test?
No,
Test. How are you gonna test you? I don't know.
What is the most traditional food in San Antonio?
What is the most traditional food in San Antonio? Let's see here. Traditional food in San Antonio. Tacos? Probably tacos. We have a lot of Mexican food. Enchiladas, tacos, chile relleno, margaritas, migas. I'm trying to think like an American steak. We have barbecue, because Texas has a lot of barbecue. Ribs. Ribs. There's not really barbecue there's barbecue in Colombia, but you need the sauce, the special sauce. So either Mexican food or barbecue. Yes. Okay. I'll let this corner off the hook. I'll let you off the hook. Let you off the hook. Another idiom. I'll let you off the hook today. This means that I will give up on you. I will let you be. I don't know how to explain. Let you off the hook. This signifies like a fish. This is a fish, right? And then the hook. Right? This is what this means. So I'm trying to fish you for an answer. Una respuesta. Right? But I'm gonna let you off the hook. I'm gonna let you off. I'll let you go. Today. Only. Today. But in the future, this corner here needs to talk. Okay? Level 4. Thank you so much. Anything
More
else?
questions about her family?
Siblings?
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 Big question.
How many siblings do you have?
Good job. How many siblings do I have? Oh, sorry. I have 4 siblings. I'm the oldest, not the youngest, the oldest. And I have 1 sister and 3 brothers.